Ooh. I think there are actually people watching now.
Ooh.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the May 2020 Stitch and Bitch live show. Sorry for the last minute rescheduling. We had some things come up, but we are here and we will be going to the usual time. And do I have an echo?
A little bit.
Technical difficulties. Sorry. We'll be going till the usual time, so we'll be about an hour and a half long today instead of 2 hours. So we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. I will go first. My name is Rachel. We're here on my channel Colonati, and I usually talk about science fiction and fantasy here, and I never have anything clever to say about myself when I'm asked to introduce myself. So we'll move on. Rhea.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Rhea, tuning in from summery old Finland and from the channel The Bookfinch. And yeah, I have nothing clever to say either. Just, hanging around at home as per usual.
Claire?
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm coming to you from the UK where things are interesting. In the Firefly sense of interesting. Today, in general, very tired. And also I have a booktube channel, that's Claire Russo, and, soldiering on, I guess.
All right, Diana?
Hi, I'm Diana. I am a librarian in the Pacific Northwest who is currently wrangling 2 very stubborn cats.
2 very adorable cats.
They're lucky they're adorable because they have fleas right now.
Oh
No!
Yikes!
It's just I'm just so furious at the world on your behalf that your indoor cats have fleas. That's just not how it goes.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a thing. Trying to fix it.
This reminds me of the time when my apartment complex got an infestation of those crickets that hang around in rice. Because some dude who was my neighbor brought in the thing, and then they used the air ventilation system to creep in other people's apartments. And the whole thing had to be what's the word? Poisoned.
Fumigation.
Yeah. Not a fun time. I wonder if the cats got fleas the same way.
Ventilation system, that's not...
I don't know how they got it. My pet theory is that one of my asshole neighbors who lets his dogs run around off the leash came close and they had fleas. Whatever the reason, they have them now. It's a thing. I don't recommend it.
I hope they will get unfleed in quickly. Sorry, I don't know how to English today. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, it's a process. I've been complaining to Renee, who understands. Are you coming up, little man? Speaking of kitties, come on.
We always have to have our cat visitors.
Come on, Luke.
Yeah.
Couldn't do without them, though.
No. Couldn't do without them. Mine is over there. She's just sleeping.
Let me move this so you feel comfortable jumping up.
But
earlier today.
Quite late.
Look at him.
Oh, look.
Claire, I think you froze up.
Luke is so cute.
He is. he might be getting a bath this weekend.
Black cats for the win. I'm totally not biased or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, now Claire is back.
Yes.
Sorry, this laptop needs replacing, so that might happen again, and it will be me and my laptop, and not you lovely people.
Shannon's
So,
summary
anyway.
of my flea review is 110% correct.
I mean, I also have to tell a funny cat story from today, because Tesla went to the drinking bowl. There he is on the background, apparently. Tesla went to the drinking bowl today, and he stuffed both of his front feet in the drinking bowl, and then drank and started splashing the water from the drinking bowl. And I was like, what are you doing? And then he left, and the whole my whole office was like splattered with water. Thank God we put one of those like plastic things, because I have the office chair, so that not to damage the floor. So we have like those covers all over the floor now, so the wood doesn't get wet. But it was a thing. Did we lose Claire completely?
Yeah, she said that she was having some laptop issues.
Yeah. And hello to everybody in chat. I feel like everybody showed up today at the last minute.
Well, it's a Sunday. It's a thing.
And it's a long weekend in the States.
Yes, it is.
Let's not get too fast.
Yeah. And hot. Oh my gosh.
It's not super hot for me, but I'm also but it's going to be getting warm next week.
I mean, because of the whole being inside all the time thing, I feel like I have not gotten the news that the weather is changing. So when we went to the store the other day, I put on my like parka, and it was so stifling hot, like 17 degrees Celsius. And I was like, what is going on? I was expecting full-on winter.
Yeah, no, it's...
You're back. And you're frozen again. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently that was the internet. I don't know.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a Stitch and Bitch without some technical difficulties. It's a tradition.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh. Adri says there's going to be a renaming the Otherwise award panel for WizCon. I am interested to know what they say in that.
Yeah, I think KJ from Lady Business is going to be attending as well.
Interesting. Yeah. I keep...
Oh, is any...
Oh, cool.
Aside from Adri attending...
Yeah.
So how does WizCon work this year? It's held virtually.
Yeah. So every day, if you register, they send you a link with or they send you an email with all the links to like the different programming that day. They sent you a link to the Discord that's like taking the place of the social component of WizCon. So yeah, I'm glad they were able to figure something out, because they were like, it was a little up in the air for a while what might happen.
Yeah. I'm still waiting to see how the Worldcon thing gets like organized. So
yeah, I'm very curious about the format and how they'll handle it.
But at the same time, I feel like because the whole like WizCon is doing its thing, and Nebulas, I think, are also doing their thing virtually and stuff. So they might have like people who are like currently figuring it out. They might get some pointers from people.
All right, Bree's video is still being very choppy. Do we want to talk about what we are currently working on?
Sure.
Let's start with you.
Okay, I'm working on my book blanket. I'm starting a new row. I'm very far behind on it because I've been working on my shawl, which I don't have with me. But yeah, I'm slowly making progress on this book blanket.
How many books do you have to add to it?
Oh God.
That's the question, isn't it?
Like 20.
That's
Okay,
not
sure.
so
That's
bad.
not too bad.
So,
Yeah, I need to also start sewing together the 2 rows that I currently have.
Oh yeah, because you're doing it in like columns or rows and then piecing.
Yeah.
What are you working on, Rhea?
the never-ending Potter scarf still, because it's like I'm also working on the ranunculus sweater that you, me, and Bree started body knitting as a project together, but I can't, because there's so many variables in that pattern that I can't talk and concentrate on working the pattern at the same time. So this is good. I only need to do one stitch all the time and I don't have to worry. But on the ranunculus sweater, I'm working on the yoke next. So
And there's
that's
a lot of counting involved in that.
Yes. Yes, and place markers and stuff. And also I'm working on the plus size version, so that requires, like, I need to figure out the short rows for the front and stuff. So that's its thing. And but yeah, 5th time's the charm. I've completely unraveled it 5 times. And one time I had to cut it from the needles because I had kept the tension so tight that it just got stuck on the cable and I couldn't get it back on the needles anymore. So I had to cut the whole thing. And I won't lie to you, I cried against my partner's shoulder and was like, I can't do this. Like, do I really have to cut this thing? And they were like, yeah, just, it's okay. It's okay. You can start again and then it will be better. But yeah, that was a thing that happened.
By the time you're done, you're going to have the entire thing memorized. And it'll
probably. And like I had to call my mom because she was wanting that sweater as well. And I was like, yeah, don't be expecting it too soon because I'm probably not gonna be done with my own one for a while. And she just laughed.
Does she want a lacy one like yours, or more like one of the bulky?
More like the fingering weight. I'm probably gonna do it from the yarns that she stole from me earlier. Like, she went over my yarn collection and picked out the ones she wanted.
Unless she already turned them into socks for you.
Yeah, I still don't know. We shall see.
Are you back, Claire? I see you're muted, but...
Yeah, I'm back. I'm just setting runtime priority on high for Chrome for my entire computer. I'm just in my task manager right now.
Okay.
Making sure that Chrome has juice, because it's at this point in my computer's life that it needs to be told to run Chrome on high priority for it to work. Anyway, it's just, I'm going to get a new one because I use it mostly for live streaming, like every week, twice a week for work. And also live streaming for me from time to time. So I'm getting a new one on on the business, but I need to.
No, it froze again.
Work time.
I can hear you now.
timer.
Is Tabby sitting on your internet?
Well, no, it's funny. I've never really needed it before, but like right now, I just had to go and get an Ethernet cable and plug in, and I've never done that before for any live streams. I mean, obviously, it would be sensible to do. It's just that we have a bunch of Ethernet cables that run to our desktops that we use for work, and I've never really, thought I'll order a new one and run it through the house, looking, like flopping uglily in the corridors for that. Anyway, John gave me his work one because he's not using it right now. So, yeah. I mean,
I can
ordinarily.
understand.
Yeah, I think ordinarily I would be extremely frustrated and like just panicking, but like I'm legit just a little bit too tired to be panicking, so I'm just saying that. So,
I mean, yesterday I was expecting people to come to water my plants in Animal Crossing, and then my partner started playing an online game with their friends, and suddenly my Wi-Fi connection got really shoddy, and people were being like thrown out of my session and stuff, and before they could water my plants, and I was like, no, I need my hybrid flowers. I need my blue roses.
Do you want to show us what you're working on, Claire?
Yes, I'm working on my same cardigan with all the cables.
Is that a front piece now?
That's the front piece. What are sides? Yes, there you go. Sorry, I'm just looking in the mirror, so it's a bit weird. But yeah, as you can see, I'm shaping the armhole now, and I've just gotten to. I've already made the back piece, which is the largest piece, which means that now every piece that I'm making, right front, left front, and both sleeves, and then like setting everything with the color and stuff, like everything else is going to be shorter than the first piece to make, because everything else is a lot smaller. I appreciate. Although the sleeves have these little like weird, I don't know, like almost like tiny pom-poms, like knotted stitches on them that I've never made before. And I don't know how that's going to go. And I've never set, like, basically you make all of it. You make all the pieces, and then, like, you go round the side. Like, apparently you have to pick up the stitches horizontally and go round the side and do a border or whatever. I've never done that. I have no idea how that's going to go.
Is it like a button band? Is it going to have buttons on the front? Okay, that must be what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I've never done it before. I don't know how to do it. I'm just assuming that by the time I have 5 giant pieces, I will be too far into abandoning it because I don't know how it goes. So that's my plan.
This is what YouTube tutorials are for.
No, that's very true. They're very good for knitting and stuff.
I would not know half of the things I know now without YouTube tutorials.
I have just got to the worst bit of this pattern, which I've just noticed now, and I'm honestly a tiny bit furious. I'm doing decreases right now on the armhole, and once I have reached 56 stitches on the needle, it says continue evenly in pattern until the armhole measures 21 rows fewer than the back to the beginning of the shoulder. And I'm like, sod off, could you not put a number of centimeters that I can look at with an actual, like, what is that? 21 rows fewer, 21 rows less than the back to beginning of shoulder shaping. What?
Can you like?
I'm so mad that's
you
so
have
hard
cables
to follow.
Right? You have cables and twists that go all the way up. I wonder if you can like count, like if you know how many rows per like cable repeat, and then just count the twists or whatever. That might.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I could do that, but I'd have to trust that I didn't make a mistake with the previous keyboards.
Well,
I mean, even if it's a row or two off, it probably wouldn't matter that much. I mean, if you block before you seam the whole thing, blocking will fix any sort of.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I've never done, so that's gonna be
not
fun.
to mention that you can probably just like eye it out and
I'll have a look at
try it on.
I'll have a look at my gauge. I think I'll do it with the gauge. I think I'll see, because I took a gauge before starting this, because it said use it said like use 5 millimeters. It said use 4.5 mil UK needles. But then I took a gauge and it was too small, so I went to 5. But whatever happened, I took a gauge and I know how many rows I've got per 10 centimeters, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm very annoyed.
I'm always surprised how much math is involved in knitting. It's a good thing I like math.
I'm very annoyed that instead of counting centimeters or inches like a regular, like most of this pattern, I have to either count rows, which is hard, or do like a very simple 1-to-1 math equation to figure out the length, which is also hard. Because, I just don't want to have to do it.
The reason it might say the number of rows is because it wants you to end at a certain point in the pattern repeat.
I suppose it also says end on a wrong side row. Interesting. I don't know. I'll have a look. But anyway, I'm not even too. I need to do some more decreases. When I saw that earlier today, I got so mad, but I thought you guys would appreciate it.
Yeah. I've come to appreciate really well-written patterns that just explain things in multiple ways and step you through it. And I love it when patterns tell you where and how to do modifications, so you don't have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
I am working on 2 things today, and this is really hard to show right now because it is a gigantic tube. That sort of shows it. Anyway, this is my boxy sweater, and I have I'm knitting it from the bottom up. So I did like 15 inches in just around, and then I've split it and I'm working the back, and then I'll work the front. And it's very messy right now. And then I'm working on this.
The ladyfingers?
Yes, this is my ladyfingers sweater, which is my first ever attempt at color work, and I don't think
that looks very neat in the back.
It's neat, but I think that the floats are too tight. I'm not really sure though. I can't spread it out because I'm working on this.
Wait, what is it supposed to look like?
So here's from the top down.
Yeah. That looks really cool. What's the garment? Is it gonna be a sweater?
Yeah. It's gonna be a short sleeve sweater.
I still need to buy my yarn for that, but maybe I will just like work on the ranunculus first and get that done before I get carried away and follow you and Bree into another knitting
Once
adventure.
you do ranunculus, everything else is gonna be so easy when you're not working with lace.
Yeah, I was a little bit too ambitious, but the yarn is super pretty.
It is. Yeah. But one of the reasons I was hoping that Bree would be here today is that I think she started on her ladyfingers, and I really wanted to see how her colors came out. So maybe next month. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And Joe mentioned my Sashiko Happy Coat. I'm going to take this opportunity to show it to you guys. Because I finished it after the last live show, so I need to show this off.
Yes, show us all your work.
trying to see it now.
It's so cool. Put it on. Put it on.
Ooh.
Oh my god, it's too hot to put it on, guys.
Yeah.
But here's the back of it.
It's so cool.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I'm very proud of getting the embroidery done on that, but yeah, it's very heavy. It is way too warm to wear today.
Did you? I don't know if you've shown it on Twitter before or on YouTube, but I've definitely seen the pattern of it before, and I was like, it looks in person, like with actual sunlight coming out of your window and coming through your window. It looks a lot lighter and a lot brighter. The red color of it than before.
Yeah.
Than when I saw it before.
It is a pretty dense fabric, but it's I did a yarn substitution, so I didn't use the yarn that the pattern called for, and I used stuff that was a lot heavier, so it pulls it down from the shoulders and the back, and it stretches it out a little bit. And I'm not really happy with that. I didn't know enough about yarn at the time to realize what I was doing, but it does fit, and it's quite warm. So I may, if I'm very ambitious, I might like get some tape or ribbon to sew on the inside to kind of reinforce it and hold some of that weight. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm good enough at garment construction to understand where to put that in, but I think it might be necessary.
So Rachel, you definitely need a mannequin to show that off.
Where would I put it?
In your office. Then you could look at all your like you could put your sweaters on a mannequin and look at them like, yes, it is almost complete.
It would be nice. It would be really nice to have a mannequin to like put sweaters and stuff on, so I have to try things on all the time or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a mannequin and I haven't used it in a long time. It just like sits in my in this room, like it just sits with like stuff on top of it in the back.
Yeah.
This black thing in the back. It just has tote bags and scarves on it.
But very soon you will have a cardigan to put on it.
That is true. Yeah.
I still want to make my own mannequin from my own measurements so that I would have so that, because we did that when I was in school, like in fashion school, we did that. But since then I have gotten a wee bit chunkier, so I would like need to construct a whole new mannequin.
Wait, so did you do, sorry, it sounds super interesting. How did you make the mannequin when you were in fashion school?
So basically, you make a pattern. Like the way we did it was that we had, you get clean wrap, like, and then you get like, not duct tape, but like painter's tape. And then like short strips of it down the clean wrap. And then some other person will like draw the lines of the bust dart, waistline, bust area, hip, and the back darts, and then the thing gets cut off and you make a pattern out of it, and then you get like sturdy fabric. Yeah. And you basically sew it back together and then fill it up with quilting material, batting, and you check for the whole time that it measures up to the measurements that you took before you started making it.
Oh yeah, that's really. I mean, I've definitely seen like cosplayers on YouTube do that kind of thing, like duct tape pattern and stuff. But I've never seen anyone like take that duct tape thing and then transform it into a mannequin. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that we first started doing, and it's great because, for example, I have my back is around 5 centimeters shorter than the standard German women's pattern, which is what I always, when I do dresses or garments, the first thing that I have to do is shorten the back piece of the pattern. And also I have a slight slump on my shoulders, which means that I have to actually elongate the part of the pattern that has the shoulders. So it's a lot. So having your own like personal mannequin really helps with garment. Hey, are you going to eat? Yes.
Yeah, I think as soon as you like start even looking into pattern making or into pattern like adjusting, as soon as you even start like looking into possibly making clothes, you realize like how wild it is that we're expected to buy clothes like off the rack in specific sizes, and then they fit, and then they make you think that it's your body that's wrong if it doesn't.
Well,
and
it's so interesting. Having worked in both women's and men's clothing, men's standard German pattern works so well. Basically, men are just gigantic boxes with very little variable. Like when they get fat in the tummy area, and like it's just like you have the standard sizing, and then you have the tall pattern, the short pattern, and the pattern that has like stuff for the belly. So, and then you can combine those elements. But usually your standard like guy fits into some of the standard patterns. You just like basically you take measurements, and then you see like there he is, and then just pull those measurements out, and it works like 9 times out of 10. So men's garments are super easy to construct from like sizing sense. Women, everything gets axed out because like women gain gain fat in various different areas of the body, and it's like very different. You have to account for bust, and like for example, like with men you would expect that okay, if there's fat in the belly area, then there's probably some in the chest area as well. But with women, it's like you can have a very small bust while at the same time being very like hippie and like tummy full and stuff. So there's a lot more variables with like women's patterning.
This is why I'm terrified of sewing.
I actually like I hate like deconstructing and fixing garments. I will do it, but I hate it. But I love pattern design. I love figuring out the right pattern for the body, because that's kind of like working out a puzzle, and I like the fittings and stuff to like figure out that the pattern sits right. But when it comes to the actual like, okay, now you're done with the garment and you need to do repairs on it, then I'm out. It's like all the fun stuff has been sucked out of this project. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as the person who has now fixed my partner's like clothes, like basically all of their pants for like 7 times, and I'm like, I don't want this anymore.
I realized we haven't talked about what we've been reading.
Let's do that next.
What's reading?
It's the thing we should be doing. This thing
we're not using the word should. I'm sorry, my therapist said I shouldn't use the word should so much. No, that's literally a thing a therapist has said to me before, because, you know. No, I mean, I have been reading, just like not as much as the Dice said that I should in my TBR video. So now I'm just like, so there you go. But it's a bank holiday weekend, and I was working on Saturday, so that means I get Tuesday off as well. So
nice.
Quite a bit to do yesterday. Well, today and tomorrow, but Tuesday I think I'm gonna just take the entire day off and just read and watch stuff.
Sounds like a good plan.
Earlier in the year, I thought, you know what I should do is I should try to have at least a day off every week where I don't do any work. Like I don't work, I work 5 days a week for my job. I work 40 hours a week, and then have all the side projects. So I'm just like, maybe I'll take an entire day where I don't do anything. And the first thing that I'll do is that I'll rewatch The Lord of the Rings. I'll do Fellowship one weekend, and then the next weekend I'll do The Two Towers, and then the next weekend I'll do Return of the King. So I don't know if anybody has seen, but I was like live tweeting watching Fellowship like 2 months ago, and I might be watching The Two Towers on Tuesday. So that's how that's gone.
I haven't watched those movies in such a long time.
I think you froze again.
It's so fun to do. Well, I don't.
The last time I watched Lord of the Rings was in the French dub.
Why would you do that?
Because my brother was posted in France, and he got the DVDs in French, and then it was just like a curiosity thing.
Fair enough.
I will say that Legolas doesn't sound half as handsome in French.
I don't think I've ever seen those movies in French because they came out when I was in like high school. I think I must have been like 15 or something when they came out. And or maybe I don't know how old I was when they came out, but I was definitely old enough that by that point I decided that I do not watch movie in a dubbed. I was anyway. I was nerdy about English, and I was somewhat, smug about the fact that I could and enjoyed watching original version movies. So,
yeah, I haven't. Oh God, I don't think I've seen them since. Oh God, it's been almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't really like Lord of the Rings wasn't a super big deal for me. And so like I know they're a very formative fandom experience for a lot of my friends, but they weren't for me. So it's just kind of like, oh, maybe I'll watch them. But like, yeah, I think the last time I saw it was when I was in college, and there was a movie theater in Boston that was doing an all-day marathon, and they showed like the theatrical extended version of Fellowship and Two Towers. And they weren't able to do that for Return of the King because apparently there was no theater specific print for the extended version. They're like, we're not going to show, we have standards. We're not going to show them a shitty version of the extended version of Return of the King. But it was a lot of fun. I went in, it was very much an all day thing. And like we were allowed to like go out and bring in pizza and stuff during the breaks and everything. And Viggo Mortensen showed up.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I forget. They were like doing. I don't know if they're still doing it.
I'm sorry. Probably it would have been more exciting for me because I am, tragically heterosexual, and Viggo Mortensen with the long grubby hair does it for me. But
Yeah, well, no one was expecting it. Like, it was just, like, it wasn't advertised that he was going to show up at all. It was just, hey, Boston nerds, let's come have fun with Lord of the Rings. And, like, a lot of friends I knew through college debate in the various Boston area universities showed up. So we all were, like, sitting together and hanging out. And then, like, right before Return of the King happened, they're like, yeah, so it would be really... We thought it would be really cool if before Return of the King started, we brought out the King and Viggo Mortensen.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I remember when I was in fashion school, and I bonded over one of my classmates by organizing a marathon of the extended versions of the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I remember we were sitting on my dorm room bed and just watching them, and we had all these snacks, and by the end we were both so tired. We were just like hanging off the edges of the bed like, there's still 40 minutes to go, and we haven't slept at all in the past 24 hours.
The one thing that I'm gonna say, so John and I are watching the final season of She-Ra right now, and the Princess of Power on Netflix. It's great. I haven't seen all of it. I'm not going to say anything that's spoilery, but there is a thing that keeps being shown that gives me mad Return of the King vibes. And I can't actually say what it is because I just promised you that I wouldn't give any spoilers.
I mean, given that Noelle Stevenson is a massive Lord of the Rings fan, it is probably 110% intentional.
Listen, the thing is, the thing that it is, it's quite listen, it's quite difficult to make a broken sword on a paving stone not look like that broken sword on that paving stone, but I also feel like they weren't trying to not make it look exactly like that. So,
like, I would not be surprised if Noelle Stevenson like snuck it in, because like one of the things that she got her big break on was the brochure
and Legolas comics, at least, or the Lord of the Rings comics. I remember seeing those on her Tumblr back in the day.
Yeah, it turns out one of my friends actually has one of Noelle's old commissions of Party King, Legolas's dad, whose name I'm blanking on.
Arathorn.
No,
Arathorn, son of Arathorn.
Thranduil.
Yeah. She
commissioned I love her.
The racist elf dad Party King.
I was blanking. I was thinking Aragorn, son of Arathorn, and I was completely like blanking that we were talking about Legolas. Why is my brain like this?
But yeah, I didn't know that Rachel had it, and then we were talking. It was funny.
So what is everyone reading?
Yeah.
So I just finished The Last Emperor by John Scalzi, which is the final book in the Interdependency series. So that was a wrapped up thing, which was cool. And then I also just finished The City We Became, which is a new N.K. Jemisin urban fantasy thing set in New York City, which really gave me a lot of London feelings for a book that wasn't set in London at all. But, you know, I'm a Londoner and we're all stuck in our houses not enjoying our city right now. So, like...
I read the short story recently that The City We Became is based on. And that short story gave me the complete FOMO, because I doubt that Helsinki or Turku or any of the Finnish cities would ever get to become an alive entity.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like some other cities are mentioned, and it's kind of a bit. I don't know. The mythology of it is a little bit. The mythology of it is kind of like that cities become born. So the idea of it is that cities are alive. Cities have the potential to be alive, and they birth into like a full-blown living city, at some point. But it can go wrong. And the whole book is about this like enemy that's trying to stop New York from actually being born, because New York is not just, when cities are born, they are embodied in an avatar who is a single person, except that New York is big, so it's got 5 avatars for the 5 boroughs of New York. Mm-hmm. And it talks about other cities like London that also have, a number of avatars for the different like boroughs. But it also talks about cities where it didn't work out, and it was, like they'll call it a stillbirth in the book, and it talks about like what cities have had that happen to them, and the book links it to like cataclysmic real, like Port-au-Prince in Haiti and New Orleans. like not managing to be born, and that manifesting itself in like earthquake and then Katrina, and it's like I know people reading that book right now who are from around there who are not super happy about it. So that's yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's weird. I don't know if anybody else has read it, but I enjoyed it. But it's clearly the first in a series, because I thought the ending was a bit abrupt.
I think it's a start of a series, yeah.
Yeah, I thought the ending was a bit abrupt. I was kind of surprised.
Hey, can you stop doing that, please?
Yeah.
Is it
Sorry,
Tesla?
Tesla is doing it again. He has his paws in the drinking bowl and he's like splashing everything everywhere.
Just how you chat.
I'm really hoping to get to the city we became soon. I completely accidentally flaked out on a buddy read of it with Shannon and Paul back when it came out, and I feel really bad about that.
I also have it, but I haven't read it yet.
I've been completely blanking on Priory of the Orange Tree.
Oh yeah, I need to finish that at some point because there's the actual like BookTube SFF awards. So I'm gonna need to power through it at some point. But like it's I don't know. I seem to flip flop completely between utterly unable to read anything and like 12 books in 5 days or whatever it is. Like I read 2 things in March, and then I did like 12 or 13 books in April, and now I'm just like really struggling again. And for whatever reason, I only managed to pick novels and nothing else in my D&D. When I was editing my my Read for Initiative video, where I roll some dice to pick what I read, I realized that I had done, I knew I was picking novels when I was doing it, but like when I was editing, it just struck me that I hadn't even like looked for comic books or novellas, because I look at the shelf that's next to me and it has mostly novels. Mm-hmm. So I need to figure out a way to not pick just novels in future. I don't know.
I feel like
sorry. I just had one week where I purposely set out to read nothing but novellas and manga, and like I didn't even let myself touch novels, and it was so nice to just finish one thing every day, and it just kind of made me like it just gave me that urge to read all the things again. So yeah,
that sounds lovely. I mean, I don't know. For me, that's very personal, and I don't know about anybody else, but like for me, the tiredness is at this point really catching up with me. I've recently started ADHD medicine, and it's been going really, really well. But like now that it's been like a month and a bit, it's just like the tiredness is like last weekend. I was meant to have my new show Genre-wise out last weekend, and I couldn't do anything last weekend. It's just like literally, it's just like headache all day, both days, including with medicine and stuff.
Oh,
and I just had to like lie in the dark. Like it's just like, and just now it's screwed up my release schedule that I try to make for myself, and I'm very annoyed. So
I've basically been saved by audiobooks during this time. I've been like, I saw Shannon do the series review of Love Sugar Magic series, and then I went to Script to see if either the ebooks or the audiobooks are available. And turns out all 3 are available on audio. So guess what I've been doing today? I've listened to the whole first book of the trilogy today. From start to finish.
They're just so cute. They're just like so fun and nice, and like I've recommended them to some of my younger cousins just because like one of them doesn't particularly like super scary things or like things that can get violent, and so they're just like really good for her particular reading interests.
I mean, okay,
And
I'll show you.
also, I will say the thing about the Love Sugar Magic audiobooks, and I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, Di, but when I listen to them, it feels like the person who's narrating it actually can speak Spanish, which is nice because there's a lot of Spanish in the book. And sometimes I listen to books that are like ostensibly set in France, and it's like this narrator speaks no fucking French, and it's very annoying. So
I mean, I went so far as to draw fan art,
which
is like,
oh my god, so
I haven't colored it in yet.
Beautiful.
But like that's my level of like.
Look at me ranting, and you're doing actual beautiful creative work.
Like, because it's like so easy to get sucked in, and then you like I usually either knit or draw or do something while I'm listening to audio. So like that whole thing, like that whole book is getting me like so inspired to do some creative stuff because I can picture all of the characters so clearly. I kind of want to do all of the sisters and possibly their mom and aunt as well. Like, because it's just, I don't know, there's just something. Like listening to it has made me so happy today. Like, so happy. And also I was pestering Shannon with my messages like, oh my god, things are happening.
Oh my. So what are you reading, Di?
I just finished the audiobook for Dead Voices. I'm not going to be able to finish a lot of stuff for BookTube SFF, but I did finish all the stuff for middle grade, and it was fine. Like, horror's not really my cup of tea. So it wasn't like my favorite of the middle grade books, but like, if you know kids who like creepy stuff, then I would recommend it for them. But yeah, it was fine. And then I also finished this week American Sweethearts, which is the last book in Adriana Herrera's American Dreamers series. And I really liked it. It was just like a really sweet contemporary romance novel. And I'm really looking forward to her next series.
Cool. I am in the middle of Land Under England, and it's impossible to describe this book without referencing Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth, except that this is less terribly irritating.
What's wrong with Jules Verne?
Oh my god, the whole, like, it's so in Journey to the Center of the Earth, it is like this elderly scientist dude who's like super arrogant and really irritating, and he drags his like poor nephew along on this journey, and the nephew is narrating the story, and he so clearly doesn't want to be there. He's like complaining the entire time. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be doing it, and his uncle is just driving over everybody and just won't listen to anybody, and the one woman in the entire story is like, I would love to go with you, and they're like, yes, sorry, you're female, you can't. And not to be super spoilery, they don't get even that far down. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Right, it has a sequel, right?
Isn't
that like Journey to the Moon or whatever?
If there is, it's not as famous. I don't remember it having a sequel, but there might be.
I mean, the only Jules Verne book that I've ever read was the Around the World in 80 Days.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that, the only female character exists only to get married to a main character. So
she was more of a major character than the single woman briefly mentioned in Journey to the Center of the Earth. But what is it, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? That was really fun. That was really, really good. But anyway, Land Under England is basically a similar thing to Journey to the Center of the Earth, except it's just one man who finds a hidden trapdoor into like this cavernous underworld where a part of the Roman Empire survived, and they're basically a hive mind. And it was written in 1935. and it's not super accurate science fiction, but I like the way it's written. Just the voice of it and the guy narrating it is 1,000 times better than the whiny attitude of Journey to the Center of the Earth. So
the only thing I really know about, like, I haven't read Jules Verne, but I always think of the Hark a Vagrant comic, where
I don't know which one that is.
It's the one where Jules Verne is writing fan mail to Edgar Allan Poe, and he's like, also a picture of us on the back, and it's them in an airship with bros written on it, and that's where you get the image of Poe like looking at the letter, like.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. From the Earth to the Moon? So that's his next book, but I thought it was a sequel for whatever reason, which makes no sense because, you know, center of the Earth is one way, the moon is the other way, but...
Maybe.
Remember those? I haven't seen them, but they like did an adaptation of them with like Josh Hutcherson and The Rock.
What?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because I remember it was like a very loose adaptation.
Yeah, if you've seen me just freeze right now, it's because I opened a new tab and foolishly tried to Google Journey to the Center of the Earth at the same time as doing this, and it wouldn't work. So
hold on, I'm gonna let me try and find it. Oh God, Wikipedia, your page for Dwayne The Rock Johnson is not good.
I mean, I am slightly suspecting that none of the To the Center of the Earth thing movies are very good. Have any of you seen The Core?
Oh, The Core is hilarious.
The Core has the best hacker in all of hackerdom, and this is sarcasm, by the way. Like it has such a
I
bad
should hope so, because the
feel.
best hacker in all of hackerdom is Alec Artisan.
Anyway, in The Core, there is a scene of a hacker destroying like his hacking lair before the FBI or CIA or whatever bust in. And it is so bad that it gets used by actual hackers in conferences during like their briefings on how not to be a hacker.
Nice.
Because it is so bad. Like they show it and we'll be like, if you do this, this will get you in trouble with the police. Don't do this. And
okay, so
like wiping his browser history and stuff.
So I found it, and so the first one is Journey to the Center of the Earth, or which was in 2008, and it was Josh Hutcherson and Brendan Fraser.
I haven't seen it, but I know which one you're talking about now.
And then Journey to the Mysterious Island is the one with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, I see.
Have any of you seen the really awful movie with Jackie Chan as Passepartout in like Over the World in 80 Days, and it has Arnold Schwarzenegger as a sultan of some sort, and I was like, why?
Wow.
Why has our government-owned TV channel paid for the syndication of this bad movie? Why would you do this to us? Like, this is not how you use our taxpayer money.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I forgot Brendan Fraser was in the first one.
Well, you know.
Speaking of Brendan
There's
Fraser,
worse ways for governments to use your taxpayer money, just saying.
I mean, they could buy the rights to show The Mummy, and I would be happy.
Yeah, I thought for a minute you were saying that was worse, and I was just gonna be like,
No. I have very fond memories of The Mummy.
I'm wondering if I should watch The Mummy. I've never actually seen it, and I don't know if it's supposed to be good or not.
It's hilarious. Like
it's fun.
It's fun. It's an adventure. It's like
the romance.
there are some things that are kind of so bad it's hilarious territory, but I mean it's fun. It's like it's a fun movie.
From what? Yeah, I mean, first of all, I haven't seen it in like a million years, but from what I understand it's like the bits about it that are so bad it's good are like the bits about Egyptology, basically.
I mean,
the characters are good.
I mean, Rachel, you need to watch the movie, and then you need to watch Rachel Maxey's video that she did with the vintage Egyptologist.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet because I haven't actually watched the Mummy. So
that was a good video. Especially, and it's especially good if you watch the Mummy. So
I was gonna say, yeah, like they talk about
available streaming online anywhere that I have access.
Once the libraries hopefully reopen, see if they have a copy.
Yeah, my library's had curbside pickup, so I've gotten some things. I should see if they have it actually, because I can probably get it from there faster.
But yeah, that movie also, like every bisexual I know, like has had the hots for almost every single actor in that movie at some point in time.
Well, isn't it Rachel Weisz in that?
Yeah. Rachel Weisz, Brendan Fraser, Odette Fair. Then, oh my god, the
guy who plays the Mummy is also.
Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Why am I blanking?
Because he's been in a lot of other things.
And he also always plays a villain. Like he was in the very old Flipper movie and played the villain in that. And I remember being so freaked out by his porn stash.
Okay, his name is Arnold Vosloo.
Yeah.
My thing with Brendan Fraser is that I feel like he's good, but the only movie I've seen him in was George of the Jungle.
Yeah.
When I was a child, and I remember watching that as a child thinking, are the adults embarrassed to be in this movie?
I mean,
wow.
You could have had it worse. One of the only movies I ever saw Brendan Fraser in before I saw The Mummy was Monkey Bone, and I was so disturbed by that movie. So disturbed. I probably was a little like, it was one of those things where my mom saw the VHS like cover and was like, oh, there's a monkey character, which means this must be for kids. And then I watched it and I was like, this definitely is not for kids. I feel like I need an adult in the room while I'm watching this.
Wait, what is this film?
Monkey Bone.
No, but what's it about? I have no idea.
Brendan Fraser plays a cartoonist who is depressed and just recently broken up with his girlfriend. And he has a cartoon character called Monkey Bone, and then he gets into an accident where he almost dies, and he gets trapped by the King of Dreams, and Monkey Bone, his character, escapes and takes his place in the real world, and he has to find a way back. It's so disturbing. It is such a disturbing movie.
So with that, I assume we're on to the segment where we talk about what we're watching or media that we've been enjoying.
I finished my second rewatch of Beastars. And I have to say, I'm in deep. I can't wait for the second season.
You were also watching Community for the first time, right, Rhea?
Yep. I'm on third season now. It's like, I don't know what it is about American like sitcoms or comedy shows that feel the need to have like 24 episodes a season. I'm used to the 10 to 13 episode per season format. Mm-hmm. So I get kind of tired at the halfway mark of each Community season. And then it takes a while to get back into the groove of watching it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been enjoying, like, the jokes are hilarious. They land.
Yeah, I think I'm in the middle of the second season. I've kind of taken a break. I watched like a bazillion episodes in a single evening. I'd never seen it before. I'd seen the really famous episode where it's like the same events happening over and over
Remedial
again.
Chaos Theory?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever seen it because it was never syndicated over here, whereas Big Bang Theory has had like 11 million reruns and is currently being rerun as we speak.
And
I love
very
Community.
bad.
I try and rewatch some of the Christmas episodes every year. 6 seasons in a movie.
Well, speaking of the people making Community, there's new Rick and Morty right now happening on. We've got a few things that we're watching right now because it's just like sustaining attention for a single thing is kind of hard. So there's new Rick and Morty, which is really fun and written by one of the people who wrote Community. And they did a very self-referential episode about like about narrative that I particularly liked. That we were also watching the new DC Harley Quinn show, which is really, really fun. It's an animated show and it's like really, really violent. And the first episode is all about like basically Harley breaking up with the Joker after realizing that he is a giant douche nozzle. And like you get to see how horrible the Joker is and how he's like trying to gaslight her and stuff. And then like Poison Ivy like talks some sense into Harley. And Harley decides
animated show.
Yeah, I said animated. Yeah. And it's really, really like no, I wasn't sure if I'd frozen when I said animated because I might have... Anyway, never mind that. No, it's really fun. It's really violent, but it's got this really fun mix of like really violent, over the top comic book villainy with like just regular friendship stuff. Like at some point they're gonna have a big fight with the Joker and the Joker has to like run back away because like there's contractors that are working on his big like lair building and like he has to go and like work out like a permit with the city or whatever. Like there's so many things like that are just really, you know, I'm not explaining it really well, but it has a lot of really, really fun, like deeply relatable friendship stuff with Ivy and Harley, and it's So Shannon's talking about the animated Batman show, and I don't know what part of it she's referencing because I've not seen that, but this is a new DC Harley Quinn. The DC Harley Quinn show.
In the original Batman animated series, there is an extended period shown where Harley is first being shown as the therapist to Joker, and then it is showed how he manipulates her. And then she gets like with Poison Ivy, and they become a sort of dynamic duo.
Well, this one starts with Harley and the Joker already like dating, and like Harley trying to do cool villain stuff, and you know the Joker is just horrible, like super smug and going like like she's
the typical Joker
thing. Do a thing. It's got this thing where like she's trying to do a thing. She's clearly like setting up for a punchline, and like he just comes in and like there's a whole bunch of different things. But basically, at one point, she like gets caught by the cops, and Joker's like, "Don't worry, you won't even spend a night in Arkham. I will come and get you straight away." And she's like laughing at the cops, going, "My Joker will come and get me straight away." And then she's like, a year in Arkham, because he's a dick and he doesn't care at all. And so it's very over the top. It's very violent, but it's also really fun because it's just like it's so much fun. I love it so much. The writing is so good in it, and it's really lovely.
Shannon is also saying that the one in the 90s had a storyline with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Yeah, and that storyline in the 90s cartoon is actually what sparked the whole Poison Ivy Harley Quinn ship.
Yeah.
In any case, and that's how it got its start.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see that. Like, I'm not sure what they're gonna do about that in the show. I'm not sure they're going to do it because, like, there's Kite Man who's ridiculous.
Well, and also currently
and
DC
I don't like, but John likes him. So.
DC in general is currently in the comics in the process of no homoing Poison Ivy and Harley for another Joker Harley storyline, which is getting fans understandably antsy.
Yeah, that's very unsurprising. The kind of things that DC and Marvel tend to pull in the comics side. But it's a really fun show. So we're watching Rick and Morty. We're watching that. We're watching She-Ra, like I said, and then also the Great British Sewing Bee is on at the moment, and it's so wholesome.
There's a sewing show.
So good. There's 5 seasons of the Sewing Bee. Yeah. It's yeah. It's
I wish
very,
we got
it's
that
very
out
good.
of the Great Big Flower Fight, because I watched one episode of that and I was kind of underwhelmed.
Is that a Netflix one?
Yeah, I watched the first episode and they just did a really bad job because, like, you know how in Great British Bake Off, like, even if they don't spend a lot of time with certain contestants, they'll introduce everyone in that first episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't do that with this one. Like, there are like 2 or 3 teams in the Great Big Flower Fight where they like spent no time on them, and it was really shady too because one of them was a team of a black woman and a black man. Yeah, and so it was just like it felt off.
I was just wondering if it was a Netflix show because one thing that I thought the other Netflix show that's like a I guess contest elimination, skills based show that I've seen was Next in Fashion, the one that was presented by Tan France, and that I didn't like. Well, first of all, there was like some really shady judging decisions in that, and like,
and also like the teams made no sense. Like, how can you have like teams that are, hey, we've been friends since like college and like have been working together for 6 years, and then you have, we've literally never seen each other ever before this show, and now we are expected to work as a team. And I'm like,
yeah, but that's not my point. The thing that struck me about that show is that I don't think I guess maybe it's part of it, but like the format wasn't very good for the to create a narrative. The format and the way that it was structured wasn't good for that. And I feel like what you're saying, Di, kind of goes to that as well. That like it's not the structure of it or the way it's edited together. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I think it was definitely an editing choice that they made, and I didn't like it. And also, like the host felt like they were trying to like be like trying to channel Mel and Sue, but it just felt really inauthentic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen more than that, but like compared to Blown Away, for example, like Blown Away was another one where like they did highlight the different glass blowers in the first episode. So even the ones who went early, you had a sense of who they were and like what their styles were and what their goals were. Whereas with the Great Big Flower Fight, like I didn't get that from a number of the teams.
If there's a glass blowing show, I need to watch it.
It's really good. It's called Blown Away.
Oh my god, it's so good. You need to watch it. It's so good. Also, one of the ovens that they have to use like literally all the time and talk about all the time is called the glory hole, and it's very funny.
Yeah.
Because they all say it with a straight face.
I feel like if you make it far in glass blowing, you have to be able to say that with a straight face.
Probably.
Yeah, but like also, you know, I think there's something so beautiful in the fact that, like, you know, because my partner is a classicist, and one of the things that he loves about, you know, ancient, you know, looking at Greek and Latin texts and stuff is that, like, they're so full of like fart and poop jokes and penis jokes, because some things have always been funny, and like bodies and the embarrassing things that they do is just hilarious as like a basic human thing. And so that's my like reasoning for the fact that my main recommendation for this show that was otherwise really, really good and had a lot of really interesting stuff and presents a really, you know, complex, rare skill set is you should watch it because they say funny, bad words.
I need to watch it. It's on Netflix.
A lot of fun. And, one of the other things that I think recommends itself is it's on, like, the episodes themselves are on the shorter side. So as where a lot of shows, they tend to be like closer to an hour. This is like 30 some odd minutes. And so like, it is very focused, which I like on the glass blowing. And there's like, because the process of creating glass is so fraught. And so like, there's so much potential for things to go wrong. Like, you don't really need to like add drama.
And it's fun as well because like even the very skilled, very tough, like I don't think any of them goes through any of the season. I don't think any of them goes through without breaking something. And it's not because they're bad at it. It's just because it happens.
Yeah.
You
Like
know, it's fickle.
Yeah. Like it is, I would say out of the various Netflix reality shows, Blown Away is one of my favorites. I also love Nailed It, but that's just because
I like Nailed It.
And I love Nicole
I
Baker a lot.
feel like Nailed It is a different like
flavor
of show, right? And so I was literally gonna say that do we think Netflix is just bad at that specific flavor of show? But then you brought up Blown Away, and I thought that was great, and that was very well edited. So maybe, I mean, I guess it's just a choice. Like one of my absolute favorite like guilty pleasures insofar as I watch it because it makes me, you know, happy even though I know that it is like ridiculous and very, you know, like it just feels indulgent, is I really like watching those really stupid shows where like a bunch of normal people volunteer to be put through like some kind of weird army training in the middle of nowhere. And there's one show like that in the UK that's like, you know, SAS Special Force Training or whatever. It's so ridiculous. And one of the very ridiculous things about it is the way that it's edited. They literally have like, you know, 2 or 3 storylines per week, or, you know, like they have maybe 8 episodes, and they've clearly decided that in this episode they're going to focus on 3 or 4 people. So they're like, you know, they're focusing on the group dynamic of these 2 sisters who have entered together, but maybe one of them is going to be eliminated straight away, you know, that kind of thing. And so because they did this focus on various different people, and I guess one of the people just wasn't interesting, we got to the finale of the show, and the person was eliminated from like the last round when they whittled it down from like 24 to like 3 people, and this woman was eliminated, and we'd literally never heard from her before, and they were like, you know, it's the final episode and she has like 2 sentences to say, and it's like, Shannon is a shepherd in the Highlands. And now she's going away, and I'm like, I'm sorry, there was a shepherd in this show the whole time, and you didn't say? It was literally like Goat Shepherd or something like that. That was really out there. And I'm just like, but maybe bring up people before they get the limit.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts about editing.
Speaking of like super bad reality TV or like stuff, I watched this cosplay reality show on Crunchyroll, which was like they made like is it like Cos Fight or something? It's on Crunchyroll.
Is it the one with Commander Holly and Chloe Dykstra?
Yeah.
Ugh, that show is bad.
It blows. There she blows. Like, it was so bad. I watched it and I was like, oh my god, this makes people look so ridiculously like unskilled in every, like the way the challenges were like made, and like it was like, this is not what cosplay is. Like that was maybe my worst complaint, is that it didn't bring across what cosplay actually was. Like, I don't know, I would much rather like enjoy watching a sort of documentary episode of like each cosplayer showing the process and stuff.
Have you seen Face Off?
Is it a makeup competition?
It's a movie special effects, makeup, and prosthetics competition, and it's very.
I have not seen it, but I've seen ads on Netflix. Like, you might enjoy this.
Well, I mean, if you have it available, I would highly recommend it. I find it extremely good. It's if you're gonna take that flavor of reality show, which is like, here's a bunch of people with specific skills and we give them challenges, then I would say Face Off is like top notch. It's very fun, and it's very also like collaborative, because they make those like super big molds of the heads of characters, and it's literally impossible for them to be at each other's throats all the time, because like at some point they're gonna make a mold that's too big for one person to open, even if it's a buff dude. So they're always like helping each other unmold things and do stuff, and it's really nice. But like, it's I mean,
I also like generally, my favorite type of reality TV is where people make things. For example, the thing that I love about, for example, RuPaul's Drag Race is the act of makeup and like the runways and stuff, and how people complete a look. The thing that I like in Project Runway is also the create. Like, I just love watching people make things.
And I will say, I will gobble up Project Runway. Like, I will watch that, absolutely. But Project Runway, they're always sniping at each other. They're always talking about how the other person's not as good and all of that. Whereas I don't know if it's a question just a function of how they have to work, or if it's the editing as well. But in Face Off, they're always like sometimes you'll have one person who's clearly been edited to look like the bad guy, and whether they're as bad as all that, you can't really tell, because it could be editing shenanigans. But overall, it's much, much nicer. When I was watching that cosplay show that you're talking about, one thing that I thought was, I don't know, because I came to that show through recommendations from people who were discussing it critically from within the community. And what those people were saying was like, well, we were hoping to get a Face Off for cosplay, and we got a Project Runway for cosplay instead. And they were saying like, throughout that show, basically because it's about cosplay, and a big part of cosplay is, showing your costumes at conventions, at masquerades, the production of the show ended up going to various small conventions around the US, and like going to the masquerade and saying like, we're going to enter those people, we're going to film the thing. Some of the masquerades ended up having suddenly ended up having rules added at the last minute to say now you have to do a skit, and the people doing the mask, and they're kind of like saying there was a lot of infighting in the community around that show when it first came out, because there were a lot of people saying like, well, you know, this is my local convention, like I can't afford to go to a different convention, this is my one chance, I've worked on this costume for 6 months, and like now your show has just shown up, and like this costume cost me so much money, and I don't even get, you know, and you kind of get picked to the post because of that. And so it's just kind of like really a
shitty thing to do.
Yeah, no, super shitty, but like anyway, mainly what I meant to say is Face Off is amazing, and you should watch it if you haven't seen it, because I feel like you would really enjoy it.
So I need to take notes. Face Off, and what was the other one? Blown Away?
Blown Away.
So many. I don't know if you're going to be able to find it, because in the UK it is very difficult to find ways to watch Face Off legally. Like the first season of it is on Amazon Prime in the UK, and then all the other, like, I've tried to watch it with like VPNs and stuff, and it's really hard to get access to in the UK. Don't know about Finland, but if you can watch it, like, I would highly recommend.
Well, I will look for it and see and report back. Speaking of VPN, Hamilton is coming in the next couple of months, and I will finally, after all these years, be able to watch it without paying $600.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I really want to see it.
My partner is not excited. They hate musicals, and I know for a fact that I will be belting show tunes in our living room.
That's just wrong.
But it's Hamilton.
I mean, you know, they're allowed to be wrong, but they're still wrong.
Yes. They understand that is the wrong opinion to have.
All right, we are approaching our usual end time, so I think we should start wrapping things up a little bit.
Shannon, Hamilton's coming to Disney Plus in July 21st, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was the 3rd.
23rd or 3rd of July?
The 3rd.
I don't know anymore. Things are moving to vastly different directions all the time, so I don't even know. I don't know what's up and what's down anymore.
It's July 3rd.
Okay.
Not too far away now. Yay.
Well, I'll be VPNing the shit out of it.
All right. Is there anything you guys are especially looking forward to? I mean, other than Hamilton in the next month or so?
I will shout out my Moomin read along that I will be hosting in starting in July. I will be hosting the whole Moomin main canon book series read along, and I've made a Discord and I have a video on my channel, so please go check it out, and please join in on the Moomin reading fun, because Moomins are fun and weird. Mostly weird, but also fun.
I may have to reread some of them to participate, Rhea, because I did just finish reading the entire series back in January, I think, but you know.
We will start with Comet in Moominland and the Great Flood.
Yeah.
And the Great Flood. So we are reading them in the publication order.
Cool.
Sorry, I was just looking to my list of most anticipated books for 2020 on Goodreads, just to see what I'm excited for next. And some 2021 books have gotten in there, and I got very excited because it looked like we were getting a new Becky Chambers book in like 3 days. It's next year.
Not yet.
In next year, May. I had a sudden like, oh.
The one I am super looking forward to is Mexican Gothic.
Yeah.
So the I have it pre-ordered.
Once my June paycheck hits, I am pre-ordering it.
Yeah.
It's also kind of hard because everything is moving. Every release is moving.
Phoenix Extravagant by Yoon Ha Lee has been pushed off until I think October now. Like I did my whole like Q2 anticipated releases video, and then like the very next day everything got rescheduled. So but But Mexican Gothic is coming out in June.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Queen's Peril by E.K. Johnston is coming out June 2nd, and I am really looking forward to it. It is basically set concurrently with The Phantom Menace, and it is all from the POV of Padme and her handmaidens. And
Nice.
I'm very excited. And then my holds for the audiobooks of Komar and A Civil Campaign came in. And I've heard like A Civil Campaign in particular is an absolute fun delight. So
It's hilarious. But also with Komar, you're going to meet a Catherine.
That's I have two friends who did a Records Read Along podcast, and they're just, I told them my hold for Komar came in, and they're just like, a Catherine.
Yes.
Yeah, my next thing actually, just because things keep getting pushed, my next thing that I've got on my list is The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by the Encho. Now it comes out apparently 23rd July 2020. So 23rd of July apparently is when it comes out now. And that's the one that's like, it's a novella, and it's like in the wuxia fantasy tradition, and it's like they apparently has an adept walks into a bar is the opening line of the of the thing. So that's cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, like in July, in July and August. But yeah, it's just already getting excited for August books.
I think that one might be out already.
Which one?
The one you were just talking about. I can't remember the title of it.
The Order of the Pure Moon.
Yeah,
I think Empress of Salt and Fortune is out.
Oh, maybe I'm.
Yeah, I just got my physical copy of that book.
Okay.
And I want to read it.
I don't know, because when I was looking at my list on the on my phone, it says 23rd July on the list with everything else. But then as soon as I go into the actual article, it says 23rd June. I don't know. I mean, I have an e-copy because a couple of months ago. Oh, hello, General.
Look at my little
Chunkster.
She's so chunky and soft. Look at those cheeks. Sorry to interrupt you, Claire.
We know ask her to lose any weight, not like they did to Carrie Fisher, because they're monsters.
I've been abandoned by every feline in the premises.
Yeah, no, I've got
had that left.
Everyone left. All of them. All three. They were all three here, and then they left.
Still at her post.
Yep.
Still at her post.
I don't think she's budged since you showed her before.
I think she's swiveled. I think she's rolled the cinnamon roll the opposite way. I want you all to know, by the way, that the most spoiled cat in the world has now been given a set of actual, I kid you not, cat steps to get on the bed.
Oh, it's because she's an old lady.
Well, yeah,
she's
exactly.
An oldie. I mean,
exactly.
We are also hunting for probably in the next few months, Hedda will also need to have cat steps to the bed because she has arthritis.
Yeah, same. That's why Tabby has them. It's because I noticed that she was jumping on the bed and from it's like 40. I mean, it's kind of a high bed. It's like 40 centimeters of the ground, but like she was bunching up and jumping on, but instead of like getting all the way up, she was like getting her front paws and then having to scrabble with her back paws, and it just isn't very. But anyway, cat steps. They're like. Somewhat of a pain. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. These were £30, and they were some of the cheapest.
Wow. So, yeah. I think I will just use my. Oh wait, I can't because library workshops are still closed.
Well, I mean, you could also just get like a step stool, like as in a stool that you might use if you're short and you want to reach a high cupboard. That might work because my best friend's about to use things. So figured a set of dedicated stairs that I can train her up them with trees is probably the only way to go. Ah,
You came back.
hello. I came back just to be submitted to the indignity of being picked up like that.
Well, he looks pretty chill.
He's so chill about everything. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Unless he's like racing around playing with Mosfet, and then they're terrorized.
Don't jump on your brother.
Yes. Like it's
And,
like sometimes he just doesn't realize his strength. Like they would be playing with Mosfet, and then Tesla doesn't realize that like he's biting too hard, and then Mosfet starts to cry, and then I have to go and separate them.
I know it's just because he's looking down, but when you can see like just the eyes looking down, it just looks well evil.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But Kelsey saying, I just got my physical copy of Empress of Salt and Fortune. It looks so pretty.
Yeah.
Whenever I actually manage to finish writing the episode, there will be a new episode of Genre Wise with the news. And one of the news is that there's going to be a kind of a
sequel, I've seen the second cover.
There's going to be a companion book to the Empress of Salt and Fortune with a gorgeous cover by the same illustrator. It's got tigers on it, which is cool. So.
Are you going to show? Oh, okay. Okay.
You know work now.
Yeah. He just laid down.
All right. Any other upcoming plans and things you want people to know about? I don't really have anything. I'm just
at some point videos will happen.
Just
I
surviving.
am trying to make what is a comfort book haul at some point, because I succumbed to what is generally known as shopping therapy and bought a lot of books. So I might as well pull them off.
My shopping therapy was buying a KitchenAid.
Nice. I keep trying to film like unboxings because I subscribe to a Lumi Crate, and I keep trying to film unboxings, and whenever I rewatch them, I'm like, this is very downbeat, and I keep complaining about how I don't know things, and I keep not wanting to put them up because they don't look like fun. So I've got one more box that just arrived. I'm going to try and film that tomorrow, and if once more I suck at it, I think I will not do unboxings then.
I mean,
because
I did order a fairy loot box for my general. Oh my god, so much cat hair. For my general comfort, and I will probably join you in the I don't know how unboxings work or how any of this works club.
Shannon says they got Indianish by Priya from Bon Appetit. I got that.
Let me know how you like it, because that's definitely a cookbook I've been eyeing as something to get.
I'm legit going to be making the Malaysian ramen recipe from that for dinner tonight. It's the only one that I really, really enjoyed. It's not vegetarian, so there's not much I can make out of it, but it was very interesting to get.
I want the vegan junk food cookbook that you showed on Instagram.
Oh my god! I wish I'd known about that cookbook years ago. I need to get my own copy. I've got every other recipe tabbed in it, and it's just it reminds me of something like the decadence, just the pure, we're gonna make this thing the right way, but with all the calories and all the sugar as the original recipes from Vegan with a Vengeance before the health food thing kicked in. And it's just, I'm gonna make all the things.
Looking for another good, I literally bent down to find this one. I've had this cookbook for a number of years, and there's a lot of good vegetarian recipes in here. There's one that I particularly like that's just like chickpea, like a good chickpea recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you're looking for another like good recipe with a lot of vegetarian foods, I highly recommend this one.
I've always found that Indian food, like Indian and Thai and Japanese food, is excellent if you're vegetarian or vegan. You don't have to make nearly as many modifications and substitutions, which is why everybody's like, Rachel, why did you eat so much Indian food growing up? Your family is lily white. And I'm like, my mom found out that dal exists, and so she makes it every week.
Yeah, I keep asking because me and partner cook a lot of like Asian or Asian inspired food from like Indian, Thai, and like Vietnamese and like stuff. And everyone always asks like, why are you're cooking like this? And I'm like, have you ever tried Finnish food? Yeah. The only good thing we have going for us is the Karelian pie.
That is very good, in fairness. That is very, very good.
Yeah.
Is it possible to veganize it?
Well, like,
I mean,
yeah,
sure,
like you could make the porridge hard into like a soy or almond milk, I would imagine, because it's basically a rye crust and a porridge heart, a rice porridge heart.
Is there
or a mashed potato if you want to be blasphemous?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
but
I joke around, but really the rice one is better.
Is there normally cheese in them?
No.
No, I'm sorry. I literally, all I can remember is it's delicious. I've only ever bought it. I've not made it before. All I can remember is I want
top it off. You can top it off with whatever you want, but you usually, like in the actual pie, there's no cheese.
Well, fair enough. Then it should be pretty easy to veganize. But yeah, I remember when I was when I had it at my friend's place that I was staying with when I was working on Worldcon 75. I was staying with another volunteer, and she just microwaves them for us, and then we had them with like just butter on top, and that was nice.
Yeah, we used to have the family, like, what's the word? The dough starter that had been in the family for like 20 years or something. The rye bread starter, and that's what we always use to make the crust. Just take a dollop of the starter from the yay old family container and make the rye bread crust that's used to make the pies.
Now I'm hungry, so I'm going to go make an early dinner.
Yeah. I'm going to eat something as well.
Yeah, I'll make some.
I am going to go clean my apartment.
Have fun.
Okay.
So thrilling.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.